What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have a bit of a confession to make, and that is we know nothing about the FIFA World Cup. And I know that may be shocking to some or maybe all of you, but it's just a sporting event we've never watched. We've never really learned how the rules work. We don't even know how many teams are involved.
Okay, can I say something else too, though?
Yes.
I had never even heard of it until...
What?
Until like a couple months ago, one of our pen pals mentioned it.
Wow.
Or somebody in comments had mentioned it, and that's what brought it on my radar. I literally had never heard of it.
Okay, that is a bit shocking to me because I had heard of the World Cup, but I didn't really know anything about it, and I still don't know anything about it. Anyways, we recently watched the Tartan Army takeover of Boston, where so many Scottish fans traveled across the ocean to see their team play in the World Cup. And it turns out it was the first time they had played in the World Cup in 28 years, and it was the first time they had a win against Haiti, 36 years. And so at that moment, we understood how big of a deal. Yeah, it's a really big deal. And that kind of got us wanting to learn about what the World Cup is, because we've been wanting to look into football/soccer on the channel. You know, this is a sport we really haven't looked into that much. We've seen a couple of highlight reels, but beyond that, we really don't know all that much about the sport, to be honest. But before we get started, guys, I also want to mention that we actually have two different videos we're going to check out here. The first one is all about the World Cup and what it is. And the second one is, well, I'll leave that one for you to see because it's about the World Cup, but it's an interesting topic about the World Cup that I think a lot of people will find interesting. Anyways, guys, enough rambling. Let's go and jump in here and check out the World Cup Explained.
The World Cup is the biggest sporting tournament in the world. FIFA claimed that 5 billion people engaged in the 2022 World Cup. And
5 billion?
in Qatar was watched by an audience of 1.4 billion across the globe.
Wow.
With more teams and more games than ever before, the 2026 World Cup in Mexico, Canada and the USA promises to be the biggest in history.
Wow.
Okay, my mind is blown. This is the biggest sporting event
In the
ever.
world? Which, I mean...
5 billion people?
Yeah.
What was the 1.4 billion?
Watching on TV, I guess.
TV. Wow, what's the 5 billion? People just participating?
I guess.
Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Hold on, guys.
Aren't there only 7 billion people in the world?
8 billion, something like that? Hold on.
Is the biggest sporting tournament in the world. FIFA claimed that 5 billion people engaged in the 2022 World Cup, and that the final in Qatar was watched by an audience of 1.4 billion across the globe. With more teams and more games than ever before, the 2026 World Cup in Mexico, Canada and the USA promises to be the biggest in history.
Yes.
5 billion people engaged with World Cup content.
And you had never even heard of it.
I never even heard of it. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm a hermit.
It's just, you know, again, it's not a big thing where we're from, generally speaking. And so I think it's just one of those things, unless you're in that crowd. I knew of it. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of it. I mean, I'd heard of it, but it's just never something I had really ever looked into. But my mind is blown, guys. The 1.4 billion watching was, I mean, what is that? That's like, I mean, off the top of my head, a little less than a quarter of the entire world's population.
Wow.
That's amazing. And they're saying that this is supposed to be the biggest one in the World Cup history.
True.
I wonder what's so big about it.
Every person on the planet will know.
Based off that, we know,
But how exactly does it work?
Tifo.
Well, the World Cup officially gets underway on June the 11th, 2026. But the process to decide the 48 teams who will compete at the tournament began long before.
That's a lot.
The hosts are guaranteed a buy into the competition, and seeing as there are 3 hosts in Mexico, Canada and the USA this time, that leaves 45 spots left to decide. These are sorted by a near 3-year qualification process that sees countries face off against other countries from within their federation for the chance to...
So this is like the Olympics of soccer, right?
That's kind of what I was thinking, because if there's a 3-year...
Well, it's every 4 years, right? But it's a 3-year process to get picked or chosen.
Right. So this is CONCACAF. Okay.
Confederations.
Play in the tournament. There are 6 confederations, generally based on geography, and each one of them has its own qualification format. At the end of it, 16 teams from the European Federation, 9 teams from the African, 8 teams from the Asian, 6 from the South American, and 1 from the Oceania Federation qualify. The North American Federation would normally have had 6 spots, but seeing as the 3 hosts are all from that federation this time, only 3 further teams can qualify automatically through qualifiers.
Okay.
Now that left 2 spots.
Who would be the other 3 here? You got the U.S., you got Mexico, and Canada.
I don't know.
Who are the other 3?
I don't know.
Is it somewhere? Would it be Central America? Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe like Costa Rica or something like that. Not sure.
Decided by a playoff tournament featuring 2 North American nations and 1 nation each from the African, South American, Asian, and Oceania federations. Now, once the 48 teams have all been decided, it's time for the draw. The 48 teams are split into 4 pots that are seeded based on the most recent FIFA World Rankings list before the draw. The first pot contains the 3 hosts and the top 9 ranked teams. The second pot then contains the next 12 highest ranked teams, and so on.
Okay.
Teams
Based
are then
on
drawn
ranking,
at
that makes
random
sense.
into 12 4-team groups, with each group containing a team from each separate pot, and no group can contain more than 1 team from the same federation, except the European Federation, UEFA. The groups then play each other in a round-robin format known as the group stage. At this stage, you get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and no points for a loss. If 2 teams finish on the same number of points, then there are a host of tiebreakers to decide who finishes in a higher position. So let's use Group A as an example to explain these. If Mexico and South Korea have both finished on 4 points at the end of their 3 matches, then the first tiebreaker is which team won the match between them. If Mexico won it, they'll finish higher, and if South Korea won it, they'll finish higher. If that game was a draw, though, then the ranking is decided by which team has the higher goal difference across all 3 group games, which is the number of goals a team has scored minus the number that they've conceded. If both nations are still level after that, then the team who scored the most goals across the 3 games finishes higher.
Okay.
The next tiebreaker is disciplinary record. So if Mexico got 3 yellow cards across the 3 matches, but South Korea only got 2, then South Korea would finish higher. And if they still can't be separated after all of that, then it comes down to who has the higher FIFA World Ranking. Now, at the end of the group stage, the 2 highest...
So basically, it just goes down the line...
and all these
different details.
The likelihood that you would get to the end of that line is very low, but
they are ultimately, you go down until you finally are able to separate yourself from the other team.
I am just so shocked how much goes into this.
This is
very thorough.
Think about it. Even when we've looked into something like cricket, for example, it's just mind blowing the amount of detail that goes into the sport.
Yeah,
and
I'm just saying, the amount of planning it would take.
I agree.
Come up with all this.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Placed teams from each group will progress automatically into the first knockout round, which will include 32 teams rather than the 16 seen in previous tournaments, due to the fact that the World Cup has expanded from 32 to 48 teams.
Wow, okay.
That's a big difference.
I saw a heading on a video that said something
this
about...
year was different.
Yeah, something's happened. That must be what it is. It went from 32 teams to 48 teams.
That's a big difference.
That's huge. Yeah.
Leaves 8 spots in the round of 32 remaining, and those are given to the best third-placed teams. Much like within the groups, the third-placed teams are ranked first based on the number of points they've obtained. If there are teams with level numbers of points, then they're split by goal difference before following the same list of tiebreakers that we outlined before. The best third-placed teams is a concept that has been introduced to accommodate for the expansion of the 2026 World Cup, and it makes the first knockout phase a little more complicated. Before, countries would be rewarded for winning their group by avoiding a fellow group winner at the round of 16 and playing a team who finished second in another group. But now, depending on who finishes where and in which groups, group winners could play second or third-placed teams, and second-placed teams could play other second-placed teams. Now, you don't need to worry too much about all the different permutations of this, but these are the various different ways that the round of 32 could look. And then from here on out, the World Cup is a simple bracket tournament.
Okay. I was wondering about that. So the initial start is kind of complicated.
A little convoluted.
But once you get past that initial round, you basically jump into kind of looks like the same thing as a basketball tournament, really. So it seems like it's simple after that.
Teams face each other in knockout matches. Unlike in other football matches, there can be no draws, so if the teams are level after 90 minutes, there will be another 30, called extra time, to try and find a winner. And if they're still tied,
that would be a 2-hour game.
Games will be decided by the tension of penalty kicks. The losers of the semi-finals will face off in a third-placed playoff before the last 2 teams standing meet up in the biggest event in world sport,
wow.
the World Cup final, where the winner of the most popular tournament on the planet will be decided.
Okay, I get why this is so exciting.
Yeah, I do get why this is so exciting. But like a lot of the terminology is the reason why this feels so complicated to us, because we're so new to hearing the different terms being used. And so you're trying to grasp all these terms and then put it together to kind of figure out what's going on. But I think I get the main gist of what's going on here.
Especially after the first round.
And so this is amazing because, I'd heard that the World Cup was coming, a few months ago. And I totally had forgot about it because, again, it's a sport that I've never really followed and it's a tournament I've never seen. Mm-hmm. But this seems like people are going to be here playing the tournament or being part of the tournament for a lot longer than I initially thought.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be a week or two.
Yeah, how long is this going to go on?
Sounds like a months-long process.
And I know there's a number of stadiums that are being used across not only the U.S., but I don't know how many are in each country, how many are in Canada, how many in the U.S., and how many in Mexico.
There's 16 cities total, that's all I know.
Is there?
As far as this year.
Okay. So, I know that Boston is one. That's where
Miami,
Scotland started playing.
Vancouver.
So Scotland's going to be playing in Miami, I think, after the next game, if I'm not mistaken. But I know that Houston, I believe, was Philadelphia maybe?
I
don't know. Anyways, guys. We're going to be jumping over to what I feel is an interesting topic around the World Cup. And I just saw this and I was like, yeah, I'm curious about that. Vancouver.
I'm at Vancouver's BC Place, one of 16 stadiums hosting World Cup matches, the most locations ever. We are talking about different cities, different stadiums, different climates, different countries, all with one big challenge: how to make the grass pitch perfect.
I didn't even think about that.
So you see now why I was interested in checking out. FIFA takes this grass very, very seriously. And I saw that and I'm like, that's interesting because I bet with a big time sporting event like this, you do need the turf to be a certain way. You need to be thick and lush.
Well, not only that, but it has to be uniform for like playing purposes. It all needs to be fair and square. So that would be very hard to do considering how spread out this tournament is. And
to put down sod, it's going to take a while to actually develop this grass the way.
That's one thing I was wondering. Is this real grass?
I think so.
Right now I'm on a sod farm about 2 hours north of Monterrey, Mexico. And what you see behind me is one of 2 production
University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
The FIFA World Cup next year.
The lead scientist figuring it all out is Canadian.
This is the best sod I've seen in Mexico ever.
Wow.
That's crazy.
This is beautiful.
Meet John Sorokin, PhD from the University of Tennessee. He's originally from Calgary. When FIFA offered him the gig, he knew it was a big deal.
Well, a big gulp. Like a wow factor.
A lot of pressure, too.
That's a lot of pressure.
Gravity starts to set in. You start to think about it, and it's like, whoa, this is like, where do we start? And what do we do?
Here's the scale of the challenge. Of the 16 stadiums, most are built for football, the American kind. 8 usually have artificial turf that won't do for the World Cup. And 5 of them, including Vancouver, have covered domes. Hard to grow grass without the sun.
Oh my goodness.
That would be challenging.
Michigan, the first World Cup game ever played indoors.
It has been done before. Back in 1994, the first time the U.S. hosted the World Cup. And look who was on the grass team then.
No, wow.
In his career. That's John Sorokin.
The guy doing the grass?
Environment. If you looked at that pitch at the end, you could see the wear and tear that was on it. Thank God technology's changed over the last 32 years.
Okay, guys, I just want to say
circle moment.
My mind is blown. My mind is absolutely blown because half of those have AstroTurf, and then
some are covered.
Most are covered, so there's only a few that are like not AstroTurf and not covered. And so like that's like probably, I don't know, he didn't say how many, but maybe 13, 14 that sound like they need to have sod brought in. And did you see the 1984, I believe is what it was, where they had put the brought the turf in.
It was 94.
Was it 94? Yeah. Either way.
The first time they had played.
Yeah, and that turf looked perfect. That's pretty amazing, honestly.
Has it ever?
On a 12-month basis, we maintain constant temperatures. We supply the sunlight through grow lights.
This is video from the lab at the University of
Are you kidding me?
They tested reinforcing natural grass blades with synthetic ones. Working alongside Michigan State University, scientists calculated how grass responds to a player's movement, even using a robotic foot, and evaluated how a soccer ball bounces.
So we want it to come in where it hits and skips, and it's not going to bounce, say, above their knees as it's coming in at that angle. And how do you manage these two grasses? At what heights, what kind of moisture, things like that, and density.
Wow.
It's going to be consistent and uniform.
And here's another challenge.
So much that goes
Many
into
of the World Cup host cities have very different climates. Grass that grows well in, say, Guadalajara or Miami won't work here in BC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Much colder climate.
So each stadium works with a local grower to produce the perfect grass for that climate.
Look at that grass.
In British Columbia, it's Boss Sod, a family business based in Abbotsford. Working with FIFA and the scientists, they grew the right mix.
That's incredible, man. It looks like a carpet.
Ryegrass.
Kentucky
There's a special technique. The sod is grown on plastic, so the roots spread horizontally.
Oh, that's genius.
Easier to transport and quick to grow down
wow.
once delivered.
Now you can cut it like a pizza and roll it up off of the plastic, and those roots are all intact and have not been cut off.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And after years in the making, the testing,
look at that grass.
Harvest.
That's why I thought it was fake.
It looks fake. My goodness, that is perfect turf. Wow.
Tony Valente is in charge of infrastructure at BC Place.
You know, I think when people look at this turf, they say, like, oh, it's just grass. But it is much more than just grass. This is really a complex system of different things working together, whether that be irrigation, vacuum ventilation, or the hybrid sod itself.
Yes, you heard that right. The pitch was installed with a built-in vacuum system to manage moisture. Now, it's up to the BC contractor crews to maintain that perfection.
Oh my
gosh. How many people are responsible
for
making sure it stays this nice?
We have our entire BC
oh my goodness.
team.
Look at the lighting.
International experts, and then our design team and others supporting. So you're probably looking, I mean, just to give a round number, something between 15 to 50 people, all of them doing their separate parts to make it happen.
As for how much this costs, Valente doesn't have a breakdown for just the pitch. It's budgeted as part of the up to $180 million spent to upgrade BC Place ahead of the tournament.
Wow.
$180 million
for one place.
Both with all of our local companies showcased, but as well with also companies from around the world as well.
Are you tempted just to go run on it?
I want to roll around on it.
I just want to look at it and admire it.
Now that the turf is in the stadiums and handed over to local crews, Sorokin says he's finally sleeping through the night.
After all these years.
It's out of my hands.
Grass anxiety.
Yeah.
Probably in the last month is when I first started getting better sleep in the last 8 years. I hope I can enjoy it more than be worried about it when the games kick off.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of pressure.
He will be on call to fly to a stadium if they need his expert help. And he's got tickets for Canada-Switzerland right here at BC Place to watch Canada kick off on the grass he helped to create.
Wow.
Guys,
that's really
that was incredible. I'm so happy we checked that out too.
It's something you wouldn't really think about.
No, I would have never really thought about the grass and how complex it is to make sure all the grass on the different fields is perfect, and
as
the fact
uniform as possible.
Right, and the fact you can't put it. I mean, the grass is not going to be grown naturally in so many of these stadiums, but either because it's got a roof over top, or if it's AstroTurf. But my mind is blown about this, but I'm glad we looked into this. Now I feel like I know at least a little bit about what the World Cup is.
And more of an appreciation about what it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, and how important it is, how big of an event it is. It's the largest sporting event ever, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, is it literally the largest sporting event ever that happens every 4 years?
It sounded like it.
Like with those numbers, that's got to be.
How could you get much bigger? Like,
I mean, the Olympics. I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. How big is the Olympics compared to this? I don't know. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for us today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.
Bye.